tell you that even when you are not your earthly father's choice, you are still God's choice. Once upon a time, the people of God chose a king so that they could be like all the rest of the kingdoms. You see, God was not enough for them. They wanted a king just like all the rest of the kingdoms. In other words, they wanted what everybody else had. Anybody ever wanted what everybody else had? They chose a man named Saul, who was tall and he was strong and he was handsome. He looked like a king. Now remember, man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. God works inside out. Man works outside in. Well, y'all, through a series of bad decisions and unfortunate events, God deselected Saul as king and chose somebody else. Was a young man named David. Now, David would not have been the likely candidate or choice. You see, David had a different mother from the rest of his brothers, and he could often be found in the field, isolated from his brothers, caring for his father's flocks and writing love songs to the Lord, playing on his harp. He would not be considered intimidating or someone who would be feared by anyone else. He didn't have the outward appearance of a king. He did not meet man's criteria. More specifically, he did not even meet his father's criteria. As a matter of fact, when the prophet Samuel came to anoint God's new king, David was not even in the lineup with the rest of his brothers. And I tell you that even when you are not your earthly father's choice, you are still God's choice. Even when you are not your family's choice, you are still God's choice, because man looks at the outward appearance. Mama and daddy, sisters and brothers, and all your friends and frenemies may look at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart.